Daily Show, Stephen Colbert, goes on and on and on and on. Trump continues on. It never stops. But here in New Brunswick, we got Irving Media. And what we do, we get moi with opinions. People told me they're sick and tired of my opinions, and they just want me to go away to where the sun sets. So, instead of having one whammo, one guy to bitch, except the Daily Show. There you go. There we go. There's two person that could bitch.
Holy teeth.
Two for the price of one.
I'll get right up here.
Two for the price of one. Don't come too close. John might think something else.
I got a haircut there, Charles.
You got a haircut?
Oh, really?
You call that a haircut? You call that a haircut? There we go. Okay. You see enough of me.
Okay, the thinker.
The tinker, yeah. You are the tinker. Asperger's.
Well, Asperger's rules, right? I mean, everybody wants to be Asperger's.
I wonder if more politicians should be Asperger's.
Oh, they're ADHD.
Yeah, they are. They are. That's why they legalize marijuana, so they can smoke a joint to calm down.
And on politicians, they also suffer an acute case of megalomania, and they're narcissistic. What other qualities can we attribute to our politicians?
I don't know. I know.
They suffer delusions of grandeur, yes.
Grandeur, yes.
Do you remember Pinky and the Brain?
No.
Anyway, Pinky and the Brain, there were two laboratory mouse. It was a cartoon. And the brain's goal in life was, today I'm going to conquer the world. Okay?
And we might add, it's 12:15.
Yes, it's 12:15, and it's been a while since you and I have done these.
Yeah, I'm trying to focus on what you're trying to say.
Your tradition is to throw something at me that I'm not expecting.
Carl Urquhart.
Carl Urquhart, good fellow. Even though he's one of those conservative guys.
He's good for what? He gives smelts away.
Smelt?
Yeah, free smelts twice a year.
Well, that's good, eh? Down the soup kitchen?
No, in his writing.
In his writing. No. Carl's very well liked personality.
I always said him and Bill Fraser the best, but he's Minister of Public Safety, and he sort of turned his back on the less fortunate people with mental illness. That he said it last week, right plain. Prisoners that serve 30 days, 15 days in jail. There's no provincial jail here in Fredericton. They'll bring them to St. John. Shediac, Miramichi, or Edmundston, and they're forced to walk back home.
Well, on that's not Carl Urquhart himself. That's a conservative thought. Because conservative, they work the mindset of bring in austerity measures, pull out, money from social programs. So
there's no money involved here.
Well, yes, because they'll say it, the wear and tear on the vehicles and whatnot. So the problem that happens there is that they're thinking as well, we've got to tie up staff to bring the...
but the Liberal did the same thing.
Well, we're going to get to part 2 of this here, right? I'm just kind of giving an outline of what the general...
No Asperger's. Try to get to the goddamn point.
I am getting to the point. It's
Go
just
ahead.
That you're not...
I'll shut up.
Yeah, all right. Look, I got to ask our audience. Can I hit him? Put thumbs up. Yes, I'm not too bad. There's no thumbs down. But
5 in the audience. Wow. Okay, go ahead.
But on the serious side is that provisions should be made to return inmates back to the place to where they were sentenced from.
Yep.
Now, I don't know if it still exists at the federal level, but at the federal level, the system was that if a convicted inmate was sentenced 300 kilometers from, they would give a ticket for 300 kilometers.
And if somebody dies that's been there for 25 years, they made it public immediately. Here, provincial, there's not even a coroner inquest if somebody dies.
So on the provincial, and you've heard me say that many times, cosmetically they'll spend money on building nice-looking institutions, but they're still operated. They're still operated the way they were back in the 1800s. It's a long-term holding tank, like the junk tank.
What are you talking about?
The
prisons?
provincial jails.
The jails?
Yeah, they're
Oh,
holding,
I think
they're-
I think they're treated a little bit better now than they were 100 years ago.
yeah, they give them better food.
Yeah, better food and better.
It's cosmetics, Charles, the nicer thing. But as far as how to deal with them, there's no programs to help the drug addict. There's no programs.
None.
Yeah.
That's why they always want to go to the federal jail.
Yeah. Yes. And my thing is that if you're in front of a judge and the judge is giving you 2 years less of a day, call the judge a cocksucker so you'll get with contempt of court.
Another 6 months.
And give you another 6 months, which will get you to the federal level. And life is good there. I mean, it's not the Howard, the Howard Johnson.
No, but I think the problem is people listen to us from the start. It was 5 people. And we talk about jail. Up, they stop the video. Just don't break the law, then there'll be no problem. That's the attitude.
Yeah, and you're quite correct. That's an attitude. They don't understand law. They don't understand law and legislation, how laws become. One day, one thing's a criminal offense. The next day, that same thing can be legislated that it's not a criminal offense, or vice versa. What used to be a criminal offense for possession of pot is now accepted. So things in criminal, it's fluid. It's not a fixed thing.
I think what got me is that woman that I interviewed that was crying in front of the lake, Serena. That was a year ago.
I think I've seen that interview.
Yeah, and the ombudsman got involved, and it made the current on the current CBC from Toronto. It went national, and to see Brian McDonald from the Conservative questioning Denis Andre, the old public safety minister, and questioning him on prisoners walking home, I said that's good. Then the Conservative take power. And then they're like Denis Andre. They're not doing anything. But they were critical a year ago. Doesn't make sense.
Well, we know that opposition X, opposition Y, right? And I use variable names because that's what it's all about. Who's ever in opposition, if the opposition scratches, if they scratch their ass the wrong way, they make an issue out of it. Yeah. Vice versa, right?
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer. Yeah. But getting back to, having people walk home, the ones that it affects are the people in a state of poverty. Because if somebody comes, and it does happen, people from we'll call so-called middle class, they get to share the province's free accommodations. Yeah. And what their sentence comes up, well, their family's there to pick them up.
Yeah.
Or if not,
this is people with no family, people with mental illness. Okay, enough of that. What about Kevin Bang Bang Vickers?
I don't know where you get Bang Bang from. Kevin Vickers,
he's going to be the new leader.
I've heard him speak. I think he has a gift in diplomacy. I think he's very, very good.
He didn't want to talk to me.
And that I can't, maybe your hair wasn't in the right place at the right time.
What are you talking about?
Maybe that's it.
Jesus, I'm Scottish.
And maybe it was just you got him at a bad time.
Yeah.
They can be a number of factors to why.
Did you hear him with Steve Murphy?
Yes, I did.
He called Steve Murphy Steven, and then he started talking about the cartel in El Paso. Twice.
Well,
and then he started talking, it was just like an old grandpa telling stories about him. Remind you anybody?
Not at all, Charles, not at all. Doesn't remind me of anybody. But on that interview with Steve Murphy, the way that I interpret it, of course, you and I are two different people. Our brains are wired different. The way that I'm looking at it, he's talking to Steve Murphy like if he's going for a job interview, right? So he's talking about
his resume,
his success stories. How well the burnt church, how well he resolved that. So he gave it, and those are all everything that he said he didn't make up. They're all documented. So I look at it, if I was an employer and he was sitting in front of me and he's laying all this out, like I'm going to look at that person seriously to hire them.
And he doesn't have the brain to be a politician.
That's a very subjective opinion.
I was at the when they announced it. Oh, the liberals' hands. The old liberals I haven't seen in 10 years, maybe longer. They were all in that room in Miramichi.
And yeah, I wish I could have been there, but unfortunately, the way my work schedule is, it no longer.
I got the video. You don't have to be there.
I don't have to be there. Well, you send it in to me, and I'll edit it and put it in this.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
But to wrap up on Kevin Vickers, I think he may steer the Liberal Party in the right directions.
The Brunswickers are not stupid. Come on.
Well, I'm not talking about how New Brunswickers, perceive. What I'm seeing in the Liberal Party, there's a shift that they're no longer being really liberals. They're moving more into the conservative.
Oh yeah, big time.
They're getting away from what the liberal philosophy and
the
ideology
poor and all
is.
that. That's
They're moving away
Yeah.
from that,
Yeah.
and I think Kevin Vickers.
So having Kevin Bang Bang Vickers as your leader
is going to get the Liberal Party back on the original track.
Carbon tax, is that up Irving ass? Is what they're doing?
The carbon tax, in principle, I support it if it's used for environmental purposes. If it's used, if it goes into general coffers to cover other projects, then that means that the public has been deceived, and because they've been deceived, I'll use a bit of your logic, that's a criminal offense, because when you use deceptions to get something, that's called fraud. And if it's used for anything else besides green energy, creating programs to train like the oil workers to skills for the new emerging technologies, I support the carbon tax on that. But if it's used for anything else but that, then let's go out and have a tar and feather politicians.
Who's going to be the next? Oh, that's not too early. Trudeau is going to win. Very likely. But that's too early.
That is too early, because we don't know what the cards are. Justin Trudeau, I put a post on my page, and it's something to the effect is, if Pierre Trudeau was alive today, what would he say to young Justin Trudeau? And why I say that? I see, Pierre was one who pushed the Charter of Rights in the Constitution back in 1982, and there's the Declarations of Rights and Freedom, and one of the important ones was the search and seizure, and there was limitations for police to enter one's home. They had to get that warrant.
Oh yeah.
Justified.
Oh yeah, then raided this place.
Yeah, but they still had a warrant to do it. They just didn't.
Say I was
Now,
a pedophile, falsely accused.
What Trudeau did, giving into the to MAD, that's the only logic that I can understand, is using the impaired driving. His rationale is that police can walk into any house at any time if they think the person's going to be drinking and driving. Well, what'll happen is that they'll go into a house, and when they're questioned, well, the car there, and we thought we seen him drinking a pint of beer, but because the car's there, we think he's going to. Let's say they're checking you out for your incident. They want to come and catch you by surprise. They see you in the window. You don't have a car, but they say, well, I think Charles is going to drive a car.
Listen, you tried all kinds of drugs in your lifetime. And me too. I tried cocaine once. I loved it so much I never tried again. But we tried everything: acid, magic mushroom. What? You have an opinion? I talked to a cop the other day. Crystal meth is totally out of control, wacko in this city, and even the cop looks at me and says, "I don't know what we're going to do."
I have to agree with the police, because how do you motivate people? All right. I'm in transition of going from smoker to non-smoker. But when you have addictions like that, you're no longer thinking rationale. And I'll expand on that with smoking. Is that you know, we all know that smoking is not biologically
It's gonna
good
kill
for
you.
us. That can be the end result.
It will kill you.
That's the merciful side of it.
It will kill you.
Yeah, but that's merciful.
It will kill you.
Yeah, but
Slow
Charles,
death. Never mind. Okay, drugs.
but those types of drugs, there isn't any way to control it because, you know, you take one dealer and you throw them in jail. Well, there's an old maxim that I've learned somewhere, and I call it, the roles remain the same, but the faces change.
Yeah.
You've heard me use that.
Yeah.
Well, so you pull out,
It's just like politicians.
you pull out drug dealer A out of the system. Drug dealer B goes in.
Yeah.
And the other thing you have to understand is that these dealers are no different than the local businessmen. They do a cost, risk, benefit.
They don't pay tax.
Well, yes, but there's one individual. Of course, I can't name.
I'll kill you.
Yeah. In a
We
talk.
don't get involved.
In a talk that I had with this individual, I mean, he laid it to me. He said, "Look," he said, "Yeah, I've got 3 years, but I made $6 million. Tell me, Andre, how many jobs can you go at in 3 years and make $6 million?" And he said, "Well, I'm sitting in jail. I know what I had come out. So how do you deal? You know." So I agree with that police. It's a social, legal, police problem on how to control that.
We're doing so well. People are calling us, and they want to. There's live stream. Everybody's calling.
Or it's my daughter, right? Saying,
Okay.
Where's Andrea?
Next time.
Next time. Take care.